Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma and in today's video I'm going to be doing a palette roundup. So I was just thinking about all of the purchases that I made last month during my birthday month, and it was the VIB sale. I had a 20% off coupon for Ulta. So I was thinking about all of the palettes that I bought, and I wanted to be able to take the opportunity or take some time to really talk to you about the palettes and what I think about the quality overall, and whether or not I think that they are a good purchase or if I regret it. So I thought I would focus on the eyeshadow palettes that I purchased in April. I also bought base palettes, but in this video I'll just be focusing on the eye palettes. So I went ahead and I filmed some swatches of each one of these palettes, so I'll be inserting them throughout the video. The first palette that I want to talk about is the Colorpop and Kathleen Lights collection, which is Dream Street palette, and this is what it looks like. It comes with 12 shades and each shade is 0.03 ounces, and I believe that it retails for $16. It's available at Colorpop website, and it's also available at Ulta. And one of the cool things about it is that you can actually use your Ulta coupons, the drugstore side, to purchase this. So I think I got it for about $12 on Ulta. This is the inside of the palette. In my previous video, I briefly mentioned this palette when I was reviewing the Perception palette. I mentioned that I don't really have too many Colorpop products. I think the only other pressed shadows that I owned before this was the I Love Sarai collection, and I bought the My Little Pony palettes. So I went to Ulta one day. I was actually returning a product and I noticed that they had the Colorpop display and the Kathleen Lights palette was there, and this palette really changed my, not my view, but I guess my perception of Colorpop. I don't think I really had, this is gonna sound terrible, but I don't think I had such a high expectation for Colorpop just because it is much more affordable, but I was completely wrong. This palette really showed me, I mean, Colorpop has knocked it out of the park with this palette. They blend very nicely, the colors build up nicely, and they don't muddy up. You can really just create very nice looks with it. I've actually used it several times and followed a few tutorials, and I haven't been disappointed with any looks that I've used. And I have to say that I was very impressed, and because of the quality of this palette, I went ahead and I purchased the Perception palette with Makeup Shayla collaboration. This is a definite 2 thumbs up for me. There is some kick up, and these 2 shades here I'm not good at. I think they always put the numbers or the names reversed on these palettes, but I'm not gonna say the names. But these 2 here I notice have a lot of kick up, and you have to build it up, but I don't mind it because I rather add slowly and build it up to the intensity that I want than having like a big having a big spot of shadow that won't blend out. This is a 12 pan palette, so 6 mattes and 6 either satin. I don't think this one is really like a foil, it's more of a satin shade, and then foiled color. So 6 mattes and 6 shimmer or foiled shadows. Very nice. It's a everyday type of palette with some pops of color. This palette does not have a mirror. It's just their traditional type of packaging. Second palette I've also briefly mentioned already and during my April favorites video, which is the ABH Soft Glam palette. And this one was a palette that I wasn't sure if I wanted because it looks pretty neutral, but I love collecting the ABH palettes, and I really like the formula. It's a very soft formula. This is what it looks like. It comes with a brush that I never use. I've heard it's good, but I never really use the brushes that come in palettes. And it has a nice size mirror on the other side, but I think this is a great formula. I know a lot of people have talked about it already, but if you have the Modern Renaissance, it's the same formulation. I actually prefer this palette to the Modern Renaissance, and only because the shade ranges. I feel like the Modern Renaissance is more of a berry warm tones, and this one tends to be more of your browns and just more wearable shades, and then you can also intensify it and build it up to go on a night out. But I actually had to put it away because I wouldn't use anything else if I had it on my desk. So this is a beautiful palette. Some of the shades here do feel a little dry when you're swatching it, but there is no performance problems. Orange Soda, Burnt Orange, and Rustic. These feel dry. So these two here and this one, they feel dry, and when I was swatching them, I felt like it was a little bit patchy. But I didn't have any problems with it on my eyes at all. This is also a very good palette. I have no regrets about this purchase, and am definitely getting good use out of it. The next palette is the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette, and this is what the packaging looks like. It has a nice rose gold sleeve, and in the back it just says the name of the palette and the shades with the colors and the ingredients. This one has 10 shades. It has it in grams, so I'm not sure of the sizes for each shade, but this one, it's pretty big shadow sizes here. And this palette is definitely the palette that, well, I can't say that surprised me the most, because I think the palette that surprised me the most was the Colorpop one, but I have to say that I wasn't sure what to expect, because this is Christine Dominique's first for her brand, the Dominique Cosmetics. This is their first launch. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I think when I first saw it on Trend Mood, or when I saw it online, I remember looking at it and thinking, well, those are all pretty much colors I already own. And yes, and I think that that's pretty much the theme with all of these palettes that I purchased, is that they're all very natural, not natural, but wearable shades. And I remember just not being sure whether I wanted this palette or not, and I watched Michelle's Everyday Glamour. She did a Dazzled or Disappointed on this palette, and I even commented on it. I'm like, my goodness, I think you just convinced me to purchase it, because the look that she created that day and everything that she talked about the palette just made me really want to experiment and see for myself what I thought about it for myself. And I ordered it, and I have to say, the first day that I used this palette, I was so surprised about how the blendability, and I think this blends even nicer than the Colorpop. I may venture to say that it's even easier to use than my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It is the palette that I am wearing today, and I mean, I'm still someone that's learning how to apply makeup, and I'm always just experimenting on the color combinations. So for me to be able to come up with the look that I have today, I just think she did a very good job in choosing these colors. They all work well together. I have to be completely honest, I really haven't dabbled into double shot or cold brew on my lids. I have been using them mostly as liner, like a bottom lash on my bottom lashes, but everything else about it is stunning. I did notice that this shade right here, I think it's called Cream Brulee, is getting a little bit, I don't know if you could see it, but I think that was today. I made the error. I did it myself. I applied my facial spray water on my brush before putting it into the shade, and I think it created some hard pan a little bit. So I've most of the time when I use these type of shades, I pack the color, the shade on the brush, and then I spritz it if I want to intensify the pigment. But today, I don't know, I just thought maybe I'll pick up more if I wet my brush first and then I put it here. So if you do get this palette, I would suggest don't wet your brush first, wet it after you have put the desired amount on your brush, because I hope it doesn't mess up my shadow. If anything, I might have to scrape up the top. But other than that, these swatch so nicely. And when you are rubbing your fingers on them, they're so buttery, so smooth. Definitely do not regret it. I am completely fascinated by it, and I am actually, if you're here at this point, I want to announce that I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my channel. My goal for this year was to reach 100 subscribers, and I've actually surpassed it. I'm at 100, and I think I'm at 160 the last time I looked, and I'm just beyond excited. And I think as I'm looking at all these palettes, I want to be able to share a little bit of my appreciation with someone. So if you're here, if you're still watching, comment below and let me know what you would want to see from my channel, and also leave a... Oh, I'm gonna get all emotional. Okay, so yeah, out of all of the palettes that I talked about, this is definitely the one that has really surprised me the most and has exceeded my expectations. And because I like it so much, and because I've surpassed my goal on YouTube for the year, I want to give one of these palettes to one of my subscribers. So all you have to do to enter is comment below and let me know what you would like to see in my channel. It can be anything, like what you think maybe I can improve on, just some constructive criticism on anything, and or the type of videos that you like to watch. So you have to be subscribed to my channel, you have to comment below, and make sure that you add a way for me to be able to contact you. I think your Instagram handle would probably be the easiest way, and or if you don't have Instagram, you can either Google Plus, or if you want to put your email in the comments, just put your email. This giveaway is for within the US only, just because of shipping. This is the first time I'm even going to be trying this sort of thing, so just US only for this time. But I just want to say a huge thank you for those of you that have watched my channel consistently and comment and talk to me after watching each of the videos. And so yeah, I'm super excited. Okay, yeah, I'm so excited. I made a decision. I've been thinking about what palette to give away for a while now, and just judging by how excited I get when I look at this palette and talking about it, I know for sure that this is the palette that I want to give away. So that's all you have to do. Moving forward, the last palette that I want to talk about is the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary eyeshadow palette. And this one, the packaging is so unique. Kat Von D is known for her creativeness. She actually designs the artwork on every one of her palettes. This one is 16 shades and it comes with 0.06 ounces, and I believe it retails for $52. This palette has 16 shades, and out of the 16 shades, it has 5 shimmers and 11 mattes. I personally feel that the mattes are really the best part of this palette. They are harder to blend. They don't blend as easily as any of the other palettes that I've talked about, and you definitely have to go very lightly on the shadows because I don't know how to describe it. They are soft, but they don't blend as easily as the other shades, as the other palettes that I've talked about. I personally like the palette. I just feel that this is not one of the palettes that I can easily pull out and create a look in the mornings when I'm getting ready. I used it for an entire week. That it was the only palette that I pulled for the week, and I definitely stayed on this side of the palette because I do work, I have an office job, and even what I'm wearing today, I normally wouldn't, like, I don't wear lashes or anything extra to work, but I felt that even with these colors, I was blending for a long time just to try to make it look more seamless. I like the quality of it. It's just a palette that I need to have time. I need to be able to take my time and work with the shades. But other than that, I think it has a good color selection. And the shimmers, I'm not a big fan of. I felt like you definitely have to build them up so much. You have to add Fix Plus or some type of like water on it so that the foil, the shimmer can show. If not, they sort of look like toppers, and I think it's beautiful. I don't regret buying it. I think I am more of a collector of when it comes to Kat Von D products, but I enjoy it. I don't want it to come off as I don't like it. I really enjoy it. I just know that the days that I wear this palette, I have to have time. Like, it has to be on a Saturday or Sunday when I don't have anywhere to be at a specific time, or I have to give myself at least an hour to work on my eyes because I have to blend. I'm not the best at blending, so that's probably more of a user error and my issues and not the palette. So I just like everything about it. I just feel that I have to put in too much work, and I have to add Fix Plus in order for the shimmers to show. They're not bad at all. What I'm trying to say is that it requires time. This is what the shimmers look like. I always love having shimmer on my lids, and I think I was left wanting more with the Kat Von D ones than I did with any of the other ones. But I do feel that the colors are nice. Once you get them blended, I think they look very good. It's just even the darker shades, like, you just have to be very careful. I felt like the days that I had it on, I would notice that I had like patchiness or just some places where I wasn't able to blend it out. So I guess my only tip would be just very lightly tap your brush on it and then slowly start adding it up. Don't go in there with a heavy hand, because then you're gonna have a spot of the shadow where you first applied it, and it's gonna be very hard to blend out. But that is it. I think the only other palette that I bought in April was the Perception palette, and I made a separate video on that. So yeah, that's my palette roundup for the month of April. And I bought everything in April and I used it throughout the month. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Please let me know if there's anything else or if you have any questions about it. Maybe I can explain things a little better, but thank you again for watching. Thank you again for subscribing and for supporting my makeup adventures. I'm just very happy to be able to share how much I enjoy it with other people. So don't forget, subscribe, comment below with what I had asked, and let me know how I can reach you. I'm gonna randomly just pick one person, and I'm very sorry that it is US only, because I know that there are some people from other countries that follow me and that have messaged me, but maybe another time I'll be able to do that. So have a great week, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.